Hello, everybody, and welcome to Friday. Welcome to Friday, and it is time for some Choice Cuts. RK Sanders, already. Thanks for the sub, 4 months. That's great. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Who else we got on the stream here? We got RTM. Hello. Squirrel Knot. Howdy as well. D20 Love. Hello. Welcome everybody to the stream. Glad you guys could make it out. We have pretty good stream here for you today. I've been very busy recently, so hopefully we have enough stuff to go through. But I think there's a couple events that happened in terms of trailers and videos this week that I think last 2 weeks, I guess, and that we can go through. We will also have a special guest appearance by none other than Tom Francis, who made Heat Signature and Gunpoint. He'll be coming later in the stream, and he's going to be talking about his process in his trailer that he did for Heat Signature. So that I think that'll be pretty cool. How are you guys doing? Welcome to the stream. It's been a couple weeks since I've been on here. Yeah, let me know how you're doing. If you're working on anything cool, and of course, at any time. If you have a trailer that you want to show or something, feel free to put that in the chat and maybe we'll take a look at it later. But for now, we wanted to... Yeah, hey Derek, good to see you. Oh yeah, sorry I haven't been coming to your streams recently. Derek also does some live streaming on YouTube. Just been very busy leading up to PAX. We've got a lot of stuff to do. I'm helping with the Phantom Brigade trailer, Phantom Brigade team. We're doing some cinematic stuff in game, which is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I think the first stream that I ever did, I showed a bit of how we did that in Cinema Machine. So if you're interested in how that process was with that trailer, go check out that VOD. Hi, Saba. Thanks again for. Oh yeah. Yeah, we're all pretty busy with PAX stuff. Yeah, so things I kind of wanted to talk about, the big events that I think happened recently is the Nintendo Direct that happened a couple days ago. And actually the theme for today's stream is, I guess this is something I should be doing more often, but I think our theme this stream is going to be vaguely like immersion versus explanation in trailers, because I think as people who make game trailers, we have a special task, and that is to tell the player, to kind of give the player an example of the experience that they're going to have. But I feel like you also want to give them kind of immerse them in the world a little bit, and kind of lure them in that way as well. And there's kind of it's a fine balance, I think. I don't know, some games go a little bit one way and some games go the other way, and I think there's also kind of a different approach depending on whether you're from AAA and for us more indie types. And so yeah, why don't we kind of dive in. Let's go to the fancy transition here. Hello Super Saturn, welcome. Yeah, so I wanted to talk about the Nintendo Direct a little bit. So the thing that I noticed about the Nintendo Direct when we watched it, here, let's turn it off here. Oops. Oh, I'm still getting used to this new stream setup here. There we go. Because yeah, it's kind of like a big deal every time, but the interesting thing about the Nintendo Direct is that it, a lot of the trailers are just kind of like
3.0 update this spring.
They kind of just have this the same narrator kind of over top of everything, and every trailer is just kind of like, and I guess that's kind of the point, is like it's a direct, it's like news, right?
Joker is a part of Challenger Pack 1.
But I think it's interesting, especially for the Dragon Quest trailer. I thought this was it's kind of an interesting choice. They went for full-on explanation on a very narrative game. So why don't we check that
There
out here?
are RPGs, and then
you
there's
guys hear that?
Dragon Quest, the series that defined the genre.
How's the levels, by the way? I feel like I'm always fighting with the
Nintendo Switch in full
levels in the
beloved
stream.
style and perfectly balanced battles with the most
Hey, Gibbous Game,
and
good to see ya.
elaborate story in series history. Where there is light, darkness follows. For no one does this ring truer than the Luminary, the boy that prophecy says will succeed the last hero and protect the world.
Yeah. So the thing that I wanted to, the one thing I wanted
Taste of fate,
to
the
talk
boy
with you
of
guys
the
about
birthright
is
snatched from him.
this is like a pretty big trailer, and so there must be people who are excited about this, and kind of the theory that I have is that because this is such a long-running franchise, that possibly they do this because the people of the franchise are just like looking for that like bullet point, like what's the new thing, what am I going to be doing, instead of like they know the world, so maybe they don't need to be immersed in it, so maybe they just need those like point form
Together they'll explore the towns and
features,
terrain of the
basically.
sprawling, detailed land, Erdrea. Monsters roam
Still
free
pretty
of
quiet,
random encounters. When you engage them, choose your strategy wisely in turn-based battles. You must know when to attack, when to heal, when to use magic, and when to switch your party members' orders.
Although even here they're kind of like explaining your doing regular RPG things.
Spells.
So I don't know. This is like an interesting
You can
interesting
also collect
take on-
materials
on
so
the-
you can
on
forge
these
weapons,
trailers, you know?
armor, and accessories. Looking for an item? Then help people out in side quests, or try your hand at the casino, or horse races.
Yeah, it's a. I don't know what you guys think about that. Is this something like this get you hyped for Dragon Quest? Are you guys into
The
this
player has the power
um?
to choose on the fly
into this
between
series?
the land's gorgeous HD vistas and the 2D 16-bit glory of old. This is also the first version of the game with full.
Yeah, and it's quite long as well. But yeah, there must be people who are excited about this. Or else they wouldn't. I don't know. I feel like they put a lot of resources into something like this. But yeah, it is a walkthrough. A walkthrough type trailer. Sabo says I did not play any previous titles, and this trailer did not win me. Yeah. RK Sanders never played any of these games, and this trailer did not get me hyped about it. Yeah, and I think as us people who haven't played the game, they're not for us. I don't think this trailer is for us. I don't know if they need to because they have such a big audience already. Like, is that why it is? The style of walkthrough makes me sleepy. Yeah, it is always it's a strange choice, and they did that throughout the direct. Like, for some of them, I feel like it was okay. Like there was one, where is it? For the more indie, and this is another theory that I had, like AAA versus indie, like I guess has more like puzzly indie games you can get away with a bit more explanation, I guess. But I feel like with AAA ones, you kind of want to just like hit them with a lot of like flashy things because they know already kind of what they're gonna get. You say Dragon Quest, you know what you're gonna get, so you hit them with the flashiest thing. Maybe say a few new hooks that you got, and then go from there. I think. Gibbous says, "Did anyone watch anything over 2 minutes anymore?" Yeah, that's the other thing, right? Like people have very short attention spans. My trailers are generally 1 minute long. Sometimes minute 15. If I'm feeling good. But yeah, you want to really make sure to hit them with something good right off the bat so that they don't click away in those first 10 seconds. I think Nintendo Direct's going to also get away with a bit more because Nintendo's a big company and there's a lot of eyes on the stream, and they also show it live, so that also is more conducive for people to keep watching it, I guess. But I don't know. Derek says it seems like they're not for fans either if they're explaining game basics. Yeah, it's very strange, isn't it? Because yeah, they were explaining like, oh, you have to time your attacks, and you have to, do all these other things that you would normally do in an RPG, right? So I think it's a strange choice, but there's got to be an audience for it somewhere. What I was gonna say is that there was a game where it was just like the box. Oh yeah, this one. Here, let me turn off this again.
Tightly packed with tons of content, including brand new puzzles and new features. We fit something else in too.
I guess they think they need French subtitles.
This time, 2 players can box it up together.
See, like this one, I feel like
on the box planet,
is more okay for being explained
solve
because
puzzles and beat those stages.
puzzly, but at the same time, you
After
can kind of
completing
get
the
what's
story,
going on
You can access a whole separate adventure starring
without
Cutie,
needing
the
it to be
tall one.
explained. I feel like. I don't know what you guys think about that. Like, those
In
mechanics,
all,
I feel like
there
are
are
pretty
270
self-explanatory.
stages to
Like, you
beat.
could do that
That's
without
the highest in the
having a
series to
voiceover.
date. User
But there isn't really like a
outside the box and lead our heroes to
much
the
of a
goal.
story sort of thing.
Box Boy and Box Girl will unload on Nintendo Switch April 26th.
But yeah, I feel like the indie games sometimes need to have a bit more explanation, like puzzly games and stuff, when they have mechanics that people aren't used to. Because yeah, with AAA games, done Dragon Quest, you know what you're gonna get. Just show them flashy stuff. Also with like what else we got here? What was the other trailer? Like games like Anthem and stuff. Like when that's when you know it's going to be like RPG and shooter, you can get away with without explaining too much, right? But yeah, so one thing here. This is an interesting trailer I found with the whole thing about explanation versus immersion. So Caves of Cud is a roguelike, which is, I think, inherently very difficult to make a trailer for. So let's take a look and see what they did for their roguelike here.
I wake to the warmth of the waxing salt sun. Watch as Mehmet cuts the chaff from the water vine. I bathe in the shallows of the river Spy, under the shade of chrome carcasses of giants. I creep beneath a rusted archway, lay flowers at the vine-swathed feet of Oborukoru, god to apes and apostles. I howl at a metallic mastodon, unholster my flare, and roar in triumph as he chases my indigo sisters. I share gifts with the plant people.
I really like this game, but the
Watch as their
trailer
roots
did not
loosen jewels from the soil.
help explaining what exactly is going
I light
on.
a fire and roast Musa.
RK Sanders, it's so much
I
lore.
chance
Yeah,
with Mother Bear, until she turns away and shuffles her cubs into the moonlit brush.
yeah, and that's kind of my why I wanted to show this is because
star-ribboned sky,
again, this is
wonder
kind of a
drifted down
niche-y
from those
game,
flaming suns to play
even though this
for
game did
us
really
in
well.
our meadows. Then
But they kind of went for a
away.
immersion-y type, it's a weird
I
combo
clutch my
between an
flag
explanation and like
and lay my
immersion
head
because
on
they're
the
not
oak.
really explaining what they're doing. They're kind
Dream
of doing
the
like a lore
specters who
story
long
thing
ago
around.
chewed
Yeah, it's a
through
bit
shale
sleepy.
and peopled
So I think
the
this
caves of Cud.
game could have used a little more explanation, or Jiv says it tries to create this contrast between how abstract it looks, humanize it a bit. Weird. Derek, the dialogue is very abstract. Yes, yeah, and that's kind of why I wanted to show it, because I think it's a good example of trying to be immersive when maybe a bit more explanation would help. I think it would be kind of cool if you want to do the immersion route. I think it would be cool if you followed a story of one character through all the crazy journeys that they might have, like in the trailer. I think that would work really well, and making sure to precisely show, like, if you're going to say that a thing is happening in the dialogue, you want to make sure you're showing that in the game. I mean, I think they do that in this one as well. Yeah, they talk about like the mama bear and stuff, and you can see it. But yeah, this is a tricky genre. This is a tricky genre too, and they're doing really well, and I love this game. So I think it. I'm not sure if the trailer helped. I'd be curious to see how much the trailer would have helped them in their game. But yeah, I think it's an interesting trailer. but yeah, I would have liked a little bit more concrete story. And zooming in, I think having the whole screen showing at the same all the times and showing all the UI and stuff, I think is very distracting, and you're not sure exactly where to look. Like I think the first time I watched this trailer, I wasn't sure what was going on because which character am I controlling? Like presumably I'm controlling this guy, but that could just be an NPC, right? So it's a very interesting problem for a trailer. For classic roguelikes in general. But yeah, just wanted to show that one to you guys. Okay, what else we got here? So we watched Dragon Quest. Oh yeah, okay, here's another trailer from the Nintendo. It's still pretty quiet, eh? That's here we go. Even though it looks cool. It took a bit of time to get to the action.
How foolish. You people are leading all of humanity straight to damnation.
Straight to damnation? You're the terrorist here!
You don't understand. My heart goes out to you two. All because of how you were born. Doomed to be used by those idiots until you die. Chained to your fate. Powerless.
Today has been most revelatory. Finally, we're ready for the final stage.
What the hell are they? Why did you make them?
I really hoped you two would get caught up in all this.
Now don't go dying on me.
Yeah, this game looks really cool. Oh yeah, the one thing. So when I was watching this initially, I was like, "Oh, I don't remember this part." Oh, thanks for putting away the trash. Okay, this is the interesting part that I thought was interesting when I was initially watching, is that they put this logo at the end, and for me, that was when it kind of clicked. I was like, "Oh, this game looks pretty cool," but the action looks kind of actiony. It was like, but I guess the hook is the chains. But then you put the Platinum Games thing, and it's like, okay, well maybe they'll be doing the action good kind of thing. I would have thought that they would have put this near the beginning, because this logo is enough of the name is big enough, and people kind of know what to expect, right? If you're looking for an action game, these guys are good at the action game, so why not put that at the start? And so you prime people to be like, okay, I'm expecting good action, and then once you start seeing the action, you're like, it has a bit more weight. I feel like it would have a bit more impact as to the quality of the action, that sort of thing. But only big names like this can do that. If you're like more of an indie team, and you're more well known for your game rather than your company name, then make sure that's at the end. Even us here at Brace Yourself Games, like, people know us as the Necrodancer team, so we might at the beginning put Necrodancer, like from the guys who made Necrodancer, then this, but we would leave our logo to the end because we're still not known for that right now. Derek says, "Yeah, people would have been super hyped to see it." Right? Yeah, that's when I got hyped. Right at the end of the trailer, I was like, "Oh, this looks like slashy action game." And then at the end, it's like, "Oh, okay, all right, maybe we need to pay attention to this now." So yeah, another interesting thing that I thought was an interesting choice, and I think this is just kind of like Japanese game trailers in general is that they put the voiceover.
You people are leading all of humanity.
Yeah, they're putting the voiceover from the. It sounds like it's the antagonist, I'm guessing, but she's not in there, which I think is a bit strange. Like, you don't even set up that she's in there, but and yeah, they're kind of reacting to her and stuff like that.
All of humanity straight to damnation.
But
To damnation? You're the
Yeah.
terrorist here!
yeah, like right there when they're saying those lines and the visuals aren't really connecting with the lines. I find that to be pulling your attention in two different directions a little bit. But yeah, overall, I don't know. Flashy, looks pretty good. I don't know. Could be interesting. Keep an eye on it. Jibbis says, no logo if you're a nobody, IMHO. Yeah, not at the beginning. If I would say put it at the end with your game logo still. But yeah, you want to, if you basically can only do that if you're like a big, well-known company and people know what kind of game to expect from your logo. RGM says, yeah, Japanese trailers often have that thing where voiceovers have absolutely nothing to do with the footage, as if in-game audio recording was never invented and they just added random files and editing. Yeah, Derek, a lot of Japanese game trailers have haphazard voiceover editing. Yeah, it's an interesting thing. But yeah, they do have footage of them. Like, where was it? Yeah, I'm assuming that's her. That's the voiceover right there. But yeah, there's no way to connect it. There's no way to know for sure. I mean, they do this guy's. I think they show the other guy's voice at the same time. But yeah, interesting choice. Jibbis says, I made that mistake in my trailer. Character voices didn't match what was going on the screen. Whoops. Yeah. Yep. But now you know for next time. Yeah, you really want to in video in general, video and VO, you kind of want to make sure to have the audio reinforce the visuals as much as possible, so that you're not pulling people's attention in two different directions, which can help them, which can make them confused more than understanding the game, kind of thing. Steger, oh hey Steger, good to see you. Says could be partially to do with the trailer being made by the Japanese devs, but the localization team choosing to audio clips include. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that could be. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm not entirely sure what the process would be, but yeah, that would make a bit more sense, I think. But you think if it's a big enough game, they would have enough resources to be like, okay, can we change the editing like a little bit to match? But yeah, I don't know. Interesting decisions. RDM says it's understandable for some gameplay, but when you literally record part of a cutscene, why not use some of the audio from it? Yeah, I agree. Derek wants to know who makes those Japanese trailers, because that style exists across a lot of companies' games. Yeah, it would be interesting. Should do a little bit of research into that. I think it's just like a cultural style, I guess. I don't know. It would be interesting to do another stream where that's the, I don't know, maybe deep dive into that. I don't know. Saba says maybe they just find it cool. E.g. in this example is not that bad. Yeah. It's not too bad in this one. I think there's still lots of cool stuff going on. Yeah, you guys got lots of opinions about this one. Our team says not just games, and same in some TV shows. Maybe it's just a matter of things always being that way. So it's a safe default way to present products, and it's not questioned much. Oh, you mean like the way the voiceover works? And that's Jibbis. In my case, I had footage I really wanted to use, but the voices weren't done yet. So I tried to kind of use matching voices. Didn't click 100%. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, interesting. So now you're voice actors of Deadlines, Hug. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that is an interesting situation to be in. Yeah, usually when I make trailers with voiceover stuff, I guess everybody has a bit different process in this, but yeah, music and voiceover kind of start first, and then the visuals kind of reinforce, and the visuals are reinforcing what the audio is saying. It's an adventure game. Oh, yeah. Well, I hope this helps for your next trailer, and also feel free to show if you want. If you want to show what you've got so far, feel free to post. Yeah. Okay. Let's keep going here. What else we got here? All right. So the Nintendo Direct was a big thing that happened. Oh yeah, another big thing that happened is this little game that you might have heard of.
Peggy 16.
Recently.
I'm a living legend. You ain't heard yet, you not get the message. From the moment that I'm stepping in
Approaching drop zone.
turn to a beast when I'm rapping. I'm a living legend. You ain't heard yet, you not get the message. From the moment that I'm stepping in and get a couple weapons, yeah, turn to a beast when I'm rapping.
Ready up.
It's my time, talk, I'm on my way to become an icon. I'm gonna get
Good luck, brothers.
to the level that I'm on. I am the greatest of all time, man, and I won't stop to build the whole world up in my hand. I can't see my rise up on the horizon.
Get ready. Together.
Let's go.
I have fallen.
Run to help you.
Have anybody guys been playing this game?
Begins.
I'm playing it a bunch in the office.
Scanning the area.
Champion double kill.
Zipline deployed.
Tomar says, yeah, but I'm really bad. Yep, me too.
Sorry you died. Shots fired. Sending out my decoy. Hi.
This is where it ends.
Garrett says John Blow streams Apex often. Derek says also pretty awful, but it's fun to hear that. Yeah, right. That's kind of one of the big hooks about this game. So I think this trailer is pretty great. Like I think their whole reveal was amazing. I managed to catch it on the stream because Danny in the office here follows the more AAA stuff, and he posted a link. And so I managed to catch the live stream where they were announcing it, and yeah, it was like one of those things where I've always been kind of curious about battle royales because they're such a big deal right now. But I never tried them because I didn't want to like put a bunch of like buy the game and then realize I'm terrible at it and then not like it. So when at the end when they're like, oh, you can play it right now for free, I was like, oh well, yeah, might as well give it a try. And then so we just started playing it a bunch. Jibbis says, I think it looks too much like a middle-of-the-road Fortnite Blops. What is Blops? Well, Black Ops. Gotcha. Blops. So I've never heard that one. That's good. We have like something a little more daring visually. Oh man, Tic Tac Foe. Thanks for the host. Welcome, everyone. Yeah. I don't know if have you guys heard of this game? Just this little game, you know. Yeah, welcome. Oh man, and a subscription. Thanks, Tic Tac Foe. Good to see ya. What disc game? Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Derek says this is his first BR game too. Yeah, because it's so easy to just jump in, and I think this trailer does a pretty good job of being kind of balancing that line between of what we were talking about, like explanation versus immersion, because they do have explanation, and this is pretty, like, the text cards are a pretty common way. Yeah, see, and you get hit right here from Respawn Entertainment, and then everybody's like, oh, Titanfall. And especially the people who love Titanfall will be like, I'm paying attention right now. And then, of course, they do Battle Royale. So they're kind of hitting you with all the hooks here right away. You're jumping in with the squad of 3. So I think they do a good job of keeping explaining what the hooks are without being too dry, and they keep it pretty fresh. And they have a lot of character in here and stuff, so I think it's a very, very effective trailer. What else you guys say here? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think this one does pretty good job. Also, Super Center says, seems like glitchy text is a really common trailer meme these days. Yeah, it's kind of an easy effect to do, I guess. And the slam text, I've done that before too. I do that all the time too. Slam text and a little effect, and this easy mode. But it's effective. It's kind of the content that counts there, I think. But a nice little, like, it's kind of like glitchy is kind of an easy. Oh, we've got an Elad. Hey, thanks for the sub. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Yeah, I think just having a little bit of something on those texts is nice to give it a little bit of polish. And I think glitch text in the slam is like kind of the easiest way to do that. So yeah, because their boards are they're a little plain, surprisingly, but it's effective. I don't know. I think it works. Good luck with the stream today. Oh, thanks, Elad. Still pretty fresh at this whole streaming thing. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I'm having some fun here. So yeah, and then let's check out another trailer that's appropriate for the theme for today. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks, Tic Tac Fo. I'll definitely check out your stream after this too. RTM says, I think plain backgrounds let you parse the text quickly and create good contrast. Very busy, detail-rich environments, shots they separate. Yeah, good point. And plus, when the text is up there for only like a split second, you really want to have that readable right away. Jibbis says, I'm sort of happy indies can't afford to license popular music, so they have to do it all themselves. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna watch this trailer. This is a heat signature by Tom Francis. He's gonna be coming in later to explain his thought process in it. But we're gonna watch it right now because I think it does a good job of. We'll watch it and then we'll talk about it.
Ever since man first knocked man through a plate glass window, we have looked up at the stars and wondered, what if we could do that, but in space? Well, then that man would be in space, and someone would have to make all that space. And that's why Heat Signature took 3.5 years. You play a contractor living in a remote nebula, taking on missions to break into spaceships. Breaking into spaceships is a ridiculous job that will certainly get you killed. But luckily there are easy missions you can choose. Well, that one's labeled mistake, so you might not want to. Okay, fine, we're doing the one literally labeled mistake. Your ship has no weapons, and is so small the bigger ships hardly notice it. Which is good, because its main feature is this. It can break into them. Once you're in, you'll need to get past the crew. You're wildly outnumbered, but you can pause and take as long as you like to figure out how to get out of the terrible situation you've just put yourself in. So here, you can take that first guy's gun and use it to shoot his friend. And then throw your wrench at this guy, and dodge that bullet while your gun reloads. And everyone on the ship heard that. Soon you're finding gadgets like the Subverter, which lets you hack enemy turrets to shoot people for you. And the Swapper, which lets you swap places with enemies to make them shoot themselves.
There's some crazy mechanics in
What
this
if the
game.
man you want to hit through a window isn't near the window? Well, you could shoot the window anyway, then swap places with him, so that when it breaks, he's the one who gets sucked into space. Now that your target is happily asphyxiating, you have time to worry about bigger problems, like the fact that the ship you're on is under attack and exploding. So it's time to throw yourself through a window and remote control your pod to come and scoop yourself up before you asphyxiate. Every mission gets you closer to liberating a new space station, and liberating stations unlocks new gadgets, weapons, and technologies to play with. And that is Heat
Narrator's
Signature.
part of Something True
It's
podcast?
a game from the
Oh.
developers of Gunpoint,
Check that
where you
one
go
out.
inside spaceships, make terrible mistakes, and think of clever ways out of them. It's out now on Steam.
Oh yeah, Tic Tac Foe. Yeah, this game is really cool. It's hard. It is a hard game. I am not good at it, but it's really cool. Yeah. So the reason I want to talk about this is that this game does explanation very well. It is a very good explanation. It doesn't seem dry at all. There's always new mechanics coming up.
Well, then that
And
man
like,
would be in space.
honestly, I'm not entirely
Someone
sure
would have to
how
make all
else
that
you would
space. And that's why
do
Heat
this
Signature
one.
took 3.5
And I think he
years.
did exactly what.
You
Because there's
play
so
a
many
contract,
unique mechanics and things that
living in a remote
interact
nebula,
with each other
taking
that I
on
think
missions to
the only
break
way you
into
can do it
spaceships.
is with an
Breaking into spaceships
narrator
is a
kind of
ridiculous
explaining
job that will
things.
certainly get you killed. But luckily, there are easy missions you can
and
choose.
thankfully
That one's
thankfully
labeled
there's a lot of
mistake,
like
so
little
you might not
jokes
want to.
and stuff in
Okay,
here
fine.
to keep it
We're
fresh.
doing the one literally labeled mistake.
Yeah, he's doing the hardest one
Your
right away,
ship has no weapons and is so
which I think is really cool. Jibbis says it certainly helps to have a soothing British voice and a sense of humor. Yes, exactly. Yeah, so you don't take it too serious. So you can tell it's like the game isn't taking itself too seriously, which is nice. And it's just all about like crazy encounters and things that are happening in the game are ridiculous, and so it kind of helps set the tone, and helps kind of immerse you in the game without being too lore heavy kind of thing. Super Saturn says really good demonstration of the scale and challenge. Yes, yeah. There's so many different mechanics to explain in this game, and they did a very good job of doing like just a cross section of all the amazing of like a bunch of different things that that you can string together, and you can just enough so you can kind of imagine where you can go from here, and you want more, and that's the key part about a trailer is that you never want it to be too long, or else people get like, oh, is that it? Do you just show me everything in the game? Like, well, I've seen everything, I don't want any more. But this one, because of the systems and stuff, you'll want to try it out for yourself, and you'll want to come up with different combos, and it goes from there. Derek says also the game's visuals are kind of hard to parse, so voiceover definitely helps. Yes, exactly. Yeah, kind of small characters and things. Thankfully, the zooming system is built in. Is usually in video game trailers, you'll want to like blow up what you're recording to make sure that everybody's focus is directly where you want it. But this is built into the game. He's literally recording it and zooming in and out on the character, so you kind of know, and it's right in the center too, at all times, so you know exactly where you are and what you're doing while watching this trailer. Jibbis, humor can never hurt a trailer. Good humor. Yeah. There's times when, there's been times when, kind of like when it feels a little bit too like trying a little bit too hard or something, like trying to put humor into a game that's not necessarily funny or that sort of thing. But this is like very tastefully done, like good mix of explanation and a couple jokes here and there to keep things light and fresh kind of thing. But yeah, for example, I do appreciate a little bit of like, I think not taking yourself too seriously, that's a key in a trailer. Because like if you know, we're playing video games here. So I think a lot of people want to, relax and have fun, depending on what the game is. But for this one, for example, like it's like what's happening in the game is like kind of dark. I mean, it's like you're in space and you're breaching into other people's ships and stuff like that. So it's kind of dark, but things are light, and it's kind of still like, oh, well, it's still a game, and you're still gonna have fun. So I generally appreciate that. Times and places for that stuff, for sure. Steger says, and that's why everybody loves PUBG. Yes. Yeah. Okay, cool. So do you guys have any other examples of good explanation versus immersion trailers? Please feel free to post them in the chat. But yeah, that was kind of my initial part here. I want to transition a little bit into just kind of, we got a couple of minutes here before I think Tom gets back, so I want to transition into just kind of checking out what's new in indie game trailers. There's this website called Notable Releases that's really good for checking out what's new on Steam. And there's a couple good trailers in here that look pretty interesting. Saba says Hades trailer does a pretty good job. MO Stanley Parable trailer. Okay, let's check out these trailers first. Hades. Let's see if we can find this. Announce or reveal, which is the one. Oh, there's three trailers. Oh, looks like the same one, just from a different. Okay, yeah.
Raw sugar, made with raw sugar. Sugar in the raw, real sweet.
Okay, here we go. I think Ryan might have watched this one before his Clark Tech one time, but I forget. They're a big enough name, they can do that.
Where do you think you are? Who do you think you're talking to? Nobody gets out of my domain, whether alive or dead. You wish to learn the hard way? Fine. Then go. Get out. Don't let me stop you.
Ryan played at the end of one of the streams? Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah. Showing some action. Show the Thunder Dash. There we go. Gooey.
I'm home. Well, time to go get killed again.
I think one thing that I kind of wish they would do is zoom in on the character a little bit more.
Death is your only family. Death and I.
Yeah, there's a good example of yeah, there's some good VO choices there.
Death is your only family. Death and I.
Yeah, where else did they have VO? I feel like the beginning was a bit long, but it's cool looking, and it's Super Giant Games, so you're definitely gonna pay attention, right? Yeah, see, these guys can do that, and then as soon as you see that, you're like, aha, Super Giant, Bastion, Transistor, I know what I'm getting. I know what kind of experience I'm getting. And it's gonna be super polished. So you're gonna want to watch this whole trailer. So even though this is long, I feel like they can get away with it a little bit more because of their name.
Who do you think you're talking to?
Wasn't planning on it, Father.
But yeah, at least the VO and stuff, they're showing. You know, it makes sense to what they're showing, and I think that's the key. And because of the VO, yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they do a good job of showing combat and stuff. I just kind of wish they would zoom in a little bit sometimes, which can be tricky too, because just in terms of technical reasons, like, is this at 4K? Oh, it's at 1080. Okay. Because Yeah, technical, because sometimes when you record a game at 1080, you don't want to zoom in because you're going to lose a little bit of quality. But theoretically, they could record at 4K, and then scale it down into the 1080 window, and then scale up if they want to keep that quality, or build a zoom into the game too. That's a possibility. I don't know how they built their game though. So, but yeah, that's a good one. Okay, I'm gonna check out this Stanley Parable trailer. Let's see if this pasting thing works.
This is the story.
Oh yeah, this is a good trailer.
Of a video game called The Stanley Parable. You know The Stanley Parable, of course. After all, it was the video game sensation of 2013. Don't you remember all those awards we were nominated for?
And this year's winner for Best Narrative is The Last of Us.
The Last of Us.
The Last of Us.
Papers, please.
The Last of Us. Papers, please.
The Last of Us.
Yes, it was thrilling to be so unanimously recognized by our peers. Which is why we've locked the game's source code away where it can never be touched by the greedy hand of capitalism. A pristine time capsule of perfect artistic integrity to be preserved for... Wait. What do you mean we never put the game on consoles? Of course we put it on consoles. We didn't. Excuse me a moment.
Stanley! Stanley!
Gotcha. Stanley, I've had a great idea. I want to add new endings and new content, new adventures for you. Won't it be fun? Oh, shush, of course it will.
Oh, poor Stanley.
We'll package it up with the original game and we'll put it on consoles, and everyone will buy it again because they're suckers. Come. Daddy needs a third swimming pool.
That's amazing. That's really funny. Those guys can do no wrong. Yeah, that's an interesting... But is this... I guess the people that this is directed to are the people who already played it, though. If this is the first time you were seeing a Stanley Parable trailer, would this have the same impact? Maybe not. Oh, I didn't finish it. Oh, I'm sorry. Of course there's a thing at the end.
What do you mean The Last of Us 2 is also coming out next year?
Amazing.
Of course it will.
I love that. Yeah, lots of good jokes in here. And I think that's funny, but I've played Stanley Parable, so yeah, I'd be curious. I'd be curious to see if somebody hadn't played Stanley Parable would think, if they would get hyped about this. Speaking of which, I forget what the original one was. Oh my goodness, my mic is on my way. Stanley Parable trailer. Launch trailer. I'm just curious. I'm just really curious to see what they did to bring in people that don't know what the game is about. Okay, here's one way.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple.
Oh, yeah.
He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk.
Steger says, don't get hyped, you get more intrigued. Oh, yeah.
This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-looking, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly.
But yeah, okay. I do remember seeing this trailer and being like, this looks like a game I want to play. Just because of the humor and the kind of meta humor. That's right. But this part is actually in the game, right? This is just for the trailer, because they made a demo that had nothing to do with the game either, or it was basically part of the game, but it didn't spoil anything. Yeah.
Oh, come now. You don't want it to end already, do you? Why don't we begin again?
Oh yeah, they're just teasing all the stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Wait.
Okay.
How did you do that?
Pretty clever. Yeah, so I guess they did the old everybody else is hyped about it, why aren't you kind of thing at the beginning, which works. I think that's a valid tactic, because it's one of those things. It's an indie game, you don't know what kind of a game this is going to be. It's not a shooter, so you can't expect that. It's not an RPG, so you can't expect that. So you basically have to rely on other people's opinions to help tell you that, check it out. It's going to be good. It's going to be an interesting experience. I mean, the rest of the trailer, this is basically telling you, like, stick around, it'll be good. And then the rest of the trailers is confirming that, it's going to be an interesting experience. Ryan says, Tom's ready when you are. Okay. Yeah. Give me, I want to check out a couple more trailers. So maybe do like 20 minutes-ish. And then we can go get Tom. Jim says, so much meta people's head explodes. Yeah. Plus they basically showed the entire game in the trailer. And that's ballsy. Yeah. Yeah, our team says, outside of the first 15 that are used in the first time intro. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, it's been a while. How many years? 2003. Guys, that's 5 years ago. Yeah. Time is moving on. Ragathian says, I never played it, but the trailer makes me think it's a hipster walking sim with possibly some puzzle elements. That's a good genre, hipster walking sim. But yeah, it's like meta humor. I can see where you get that. In jokes, etc. But yeah, you basically got it. It kind of like plays with your expectations, which I enjoy. Steger says their teaser demo was super customized to the streamers who played it, so they may have leveraged the playable demo. Oh, I didn't even know that. So like each streamer got their own things in it. Super Saturn says, any advice for trailers lacking VOs, or is that just a bad idea? Oh no, that's not a bad idea at all. Lots of trailers do no VO. It kind of depends on what your game is going to be. What kind of game you're working on. Because if it's action-y, then you can probably get away with a couple text boards and showing off your hook, that sort of thing. If it's, it depends on how obvious the game mechanics are conveyed with the visuals, basically. You want to try to do that as much as possible, but where you can't, then that's where like things like screens like this and like text boards where it's like here's our hook, here's why you should play it. Like for Apex, it's like play in squads, also pick different characters. Like that's a thing that would be harder to convey with just visuals, unless you have a VO saying pick different characters or whatever. But yeah, there's tons of good trailers with OVO. Steger says, yeah, the narrator would talk to them by name and have quips usually related to their YouTube channel. That is amazing. That is some genius level marketing. Well done. Super Saturn, is it JP by the way? Oh, so the game is Mechabos. Oh, nice. Good to see you, Super Saturn. Yeah, I haven't managed to check out check out your game yet. We're possibly going to play that today if but then Tom was willing to come on the stream, so I might check it out later. You don't have a trailer for that yet, right, JP? Saba says Hollow Knight, Ori and the Blind Forest, Inside Limbo's nice. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, there's actually a new Hollow Knight trailer, which I wanted to actually check out. Hollow Knight Silksong. Yes, let's check this
Writing's
one out.
not that easy, but Grammarly can help.
This is not a trailer.
This sentence is grammatically.
There we go. Yeah, they could put their name on the front. They're well enough and well known enough for the previous Hollow Knight. Although maybe it's not necessarily necessary because it's already saying Hollow Knight on the game title. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is definitely a good example of no VO. Oh man, Hollow Knight was so good. This game is great. Although I never finished Hollow Knight, so I don't know if I need another one yet. Saba says, let's analyze YouTube ads, yeah. Okay, yeah. Alright, this is kind of the point where I'm like, I've probably seen enough. Like, I'm hyped enough for it. Yeah, it's in 1.5 minute mark. It's always a good exercise to, I remember doing that at school where we watch a bunch of trailers and then when we get to the point where we're like, we've seen enough and we're ready to move on, we'd all raise our hands. But yeah, this game has already, you know, kind of convinced me and I don't think it needs to keep showing this stuff. Love Hollow Knight. Basically, you're getting more of it. A lot more. That's what this trailer's saying. Okay, so yeah, so for what you're saying about trailers lacking VOs, there's some good examples in here and some maybe obvious. Yeah, so you want to do a mix of these title cards and then showing what's going on kind of thing. I think this one says explore a vast new kingdom. That one you might be able to show rather than just explicitly say. So I do this one. This one is like saying it as lethal acrobatic action, and then showing it is good. Like they do a good job of saying having text and then showing the thing that they're talking about. That's always very important. So yeah, now they're showing the bosses. Yeah. And I think this game can actually get away with a little bit more text and explanation and bullet points because this is a trailer and a game for people who have already played the first Hollow Knight, right? So you want to know. It's like I know what the atmosphere and the quality level is going to be. I want to know what I'm getting. I want the new stuff. So they're basically being like, cool. Here's what you're going to get. Here's the new towns. Here's your 150 new enemies. So if you're already like finished Hollow Knight and you're hyped, then these things will get you excited. But as a first trailer, I feel like, yeah, this isn't. You're not supposed to play this one until you play the second one. So it's not really your audience. And they've sold enough that they can have a big enough audience. So. Super Saiyan says, I like the title cards. Yeah. I think yeah, you're explaining exactly what's going on. And yeah, I think it's fine to have title cards as long as you're I think the thing with title cards for me is like, again, because this is like yeah, it's tricky, and this is why I wanted to try to talk with you guys about this. Yeah, our team says I think the card about New Kingdom was necessary because they had a ton of awesome DLCs for the first game. People could have mistook it for a huge DLC. Media communication was totally a thing. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah. I mean, again, I think it works as for those who are excited about more content and just want more content. So they're telling you what you're going to get, and then they show you what you're going to get. So, like, reinforcing that stuff really well. But I think, and I want to check out the first trailer now. As a first trailer, I feel like you would want a little bit more immersion rather than just like, here's all the you're gonna get, cool animation, polished stuff. Like you don't want to say that stuff. But I'm very curious about what the Hollow Knight. Derek says they could have cut out most of the title cards and kept the ones saying it's a totally new game. Yeah, I agree with that because the game is just so rich in its visuals and its audio. The audio is really good in this game, and having those things together, I think could have been enough. Yeah, let's see what they did for their first trailer. Okay, similar. Jibis says better music. The new one was more generic action-y. Yeah. Yeah, I think this one could have gotten away without text on this one too. I don't need a. I just want. I don't know. This game is like there's so much cool stuff to show. I think they could have just immersed you in it. Maybe one or two text words here and there, but. Like we could show that type of gameplay. I feel like that's kind of like we know that there's 2D animation. It's just an interesting choice. I love this game though, and oh, that's good. Oh, there's another trailer? Okay. Sabo just linked a different trailer. Interesting. Yeah, because I actually didn't really play Hollow Knight for its, like, 140 enemies or whatever. I played Hollow Knight because the visuals are amazing. Audio is super good. The characters had a lot of personality, even though they're just making like noises and stuff. Like there's a lot of other things in that game that I really liked. Combat was hard, so it was like kind of fun to master that as well. We said Northern Line. Hey Northern Line, welcome. What else we got? Here? Oh yeah, I'm gonna check out this trailer. Steger says, I understand why they stayed it's tight. There is a thing with a lot of highly illustrated works having issues with control. Good point. But I feel like, and I think Derek was talking about this in one of his streams where it's like, like you might be right about that, but it still feels like kind of like, oh, I know that I programmed this well. Like I know that this is tight and fluid. Do you know what I mean? Like, it would have been better as a quote, I think. If you wanted to put that in there, like, have quotes around, like, somebody else played this and they said, oh, this game has tight fluid controls. I think that would work better. Yeah, because that would mean that somebody else played it and they were like, oh, this game has really tight fluid, instead of the game designer being like, you know, I'm telling you that this has tight fluid controls. So, and anyway, interesting. Let's check out the other trailer. The one they were talking about. This is a fun diversion here. Oh, let's analyze ads. Oh. Oh, game sounds. Okay. Game sounds. That's okay. Ragatian said, I feel like if you're showing that much gameplay, the title cards are either stating the obvious or they point out what the devs wanted to make but failed to realize. Oh, interesting, yeah. Traditional 2D animation. Yeah, and that's the other thing about if you're an indie making your own trailer. See, I would be way more into this trailer if I had game sounds. It kind of feels very empty without the game sounds. Plus, the game sounds in this game are amazing. But they did better with that in the next ones. Interesting. Okay. But yeah, what I was saying before is that if you're an indie developer making your own trailer, you notice that sometimes people fall into this trap where it's like, I spent, 2 weeks of development time working on this one little thing, and then I need to show that in the trailer, but it doesn't really show or something, or it's like a feature that's kind of like not really a visual thing. Like, you have to really focus on things that will pop visually. And I'm sure the small things that you have to be really careful and kind of triage what you're going to show on your trailer. But yeah, I think it's a bit of a trap when you like spent so much time. It's like a sunk cost fallacy. You spend so much time on a thing, you really feel the need to show it. I mean, this trailer doesn't really do that. I mean, the 2D animation clearly is really good, so I think it's. But again, I don't think they need to say it specifically. Interesting. Good game though. Great game. Jibba says this way it adds the authenticity of the experience. We should get one of those YouTube paid accounts so we don't see those ads on our stream anymore. Oh yeah. Oh, I see. And as authenticity of the experience, yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have to start critiquing those ads. Yeah. Okay. Jivis, I think we're gonna submit a trailer or something. Where did I see this? Can I butt in and submit a trailer? Yes, you can. Please post. But yeah, that was a fun little diversion there. Thanks for taking us down that road. But yeah, maybe until, or did he post it already? This is my game. Okay, Jibbis has one. Search for Jibbis. Okay, here we go. Let's check this one out.
You want to know what my problem is? It's called the Necronomicon. It makes horrible things happen. It made me start to talk.
Oh God, the abomination!
Look,
tourists, correct?
You don't want to go in there, do you?
Dark rumors.
Oh man, this is cool animation.
What's happening? Darkham. It's always been its own kind of weird. But now, crazy cults everywhere in this strange book I've been hired to find. I've got this sinking feeling things are gonna hop the rails real quick like.
What would you do with a fishman, sailor?
My cat started talking. That's... You don't know how weird that is, man.
That is a very special cat.
So it's true. The Necronomicon really was hidden in the library?
Yog Sotherthy? Voice of the Witcher.
Give us a Cthulhu adventure.
Oh, is there a ghost monkey on this? No ghost monkey? Do you guys know what ghost monkeys are? I think maybe I made up that term. I'm just gonna keep saying that it's a thing. Pretty sure I heard of it on AV Club. It's like the stinger at the end of a movie. I think it came from Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah, that animation looks really cool. I love the joke at the beginning here with the cat.
Talk.
that awkward pause there. It's good. Danny says it's Ghost Monkey, a Saskatchewan thing. Maybe. We could say it is. But yeah, from my understanding of the term is that it's, and again, could be a Saskatchewan thing, because I'm from Saskatchewan and we call hoodies bunny hugs, which Danny makes fun of me all the time for. And that's a thing, you can look it up. So you can look it up. Bunny hugs. Only in Saskatchewan. It's a really weird thing. But yeah, Nick says those 2D, 3D hybrid panning character images are pretty unique. Stand out nicely. Yeah, I agree. Are those?
Talk.
It kind of looks like you're doing kind of like a not actually 3D animated things, but like layers kind of moving in After Effects maybe. Looks cool though. I like the effect. Yeah, I think my only thing is that it feels a bit long. It's not too bad.
My cat started talking.
You do a good job of when you're.
That is, man.
That is a very special cat.
I mean, here, yeah, I was gonna say you do a pretty good job of like when your voiceover is saying something, you're showing what it is. Like here, you're talking about the cat, and you're showing the cat, and it's a very special cat, and he does the joke, and I think that works out really well. Jibbis says it's 2D planes moving at different speeds. That's it. Nice, good trick. Are you animating this one? What's your role in this? Do you have a team? Derek says bunny hugs. That's so cute. I know. Oh man, it was a really funny thing because it was a normal when I was growing up. It's a normal thing. Hoodies are just bunny hugs, and then all of a sudden I moved to Manitoba, and they're like, "No, sir, that's a hoodie." And I was like, "Oh yeah, you're right. That makes way more sense." And I started calling it a hoodie ever since. But yeah, it's a funny, weird, regional thing. Super says, always surprised by the limits of parallax. Yeah. You can do amazing things. Danny B says, reminds me of The Secret of Nim. Yeah, for sure. It's got that style. 3-person team, I pretty much do everything but programming. Oh, wow. You're doing all the animation and stuff too? Good job. This looks really cool.
That is, man.
That is a very...
And you're saying that you...
Hidden in the library?
I do kind of like how you're kind of... Yeah. Okay, what is this? Yog Sothothry. What is that? Way too much animation. Just the right amount. I do kind of like how before this you're kind of playing with like hand painted and all this stuff. So you are saying what you're showing, but also kind of turning into having fun with it a little bit. Javis says Lovecraft thing. Yeah, I basically just know Cthulhu, the monster, and that's about it. Probably would have Googled it if I was watching this, not on stream. But yeah, that looks cool. Thanks for sharing that. Not sure if it's a good idea. Nod to. I think it's a nice nod to the Lovecraft fans is fine. Yeah, very cool. Thanks for sharing. And yeah, you said you're gonna maybe make another one soon. Feel free to, come back. Danny B, so I got the nod. Oh, Saba, check my drill. Right. Yeah, we'll check this one. And then maybe we'll get Tom in here after this. Are we gonna get ads? No ads. Oh, right, because you have to. That's per. I keep forgetting that that's per account. Okay, here we go. This is a game by I am C Saba in chat. Warriorb. Some ball mechanics in combat. Oh. Huh. Interesting. Hard game looks like. So it's kind of like combat with ball physics. I think the only thing that I would have liked is if you could have zoomed in the camera a little bit more. It's like things like this, like it's a bit far away, and it might be tough to see exactly what's going on. And like, yeah, this shot for example, like. Look at all this space here that you're not using. I mean, you are showing the background and stuff, but that's not really the focus. Like, the focus is what this guy is doing here and this ball. So I would say, like, try to zoom in if you can. And if you're using, like, Unity or something, maybe make a quick script so you can, like, push the camera in for these kind of shots, that sort of thing. And also, oh hey, 4-Bit Friday, good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Danny says sweet trailer asset effects were a bit low, and there's rough music transition in the middle. Yes. I think it was the transition to the death when he dies, right there. Yeah, kind of the momentum of the trailer kind of stops there too. Yeah, I wonder if you could maybe have some sort of transition sound effect or something into the next part. But yeah, looks cool. Yeah, I would just say if you can push in, so we can see exactly what the character's doing, and try to keep the music going. Through. I think that at the end here, there's a bit of a. It kind of ends there too. Kind of want to avoid having breaks like that. This is cool. You got some good art and stuff in here. Also, if you have the chance, if you have the time, there's like the art assets are really cool, and it would be nice to get a few more like cinematic shots into this too. Like if you're able to if you're able to move the camera a bit, get some different angles. Like the art assets are awesome. Get in there, get some angles. But yeah, looking cool overall. Yeah. Thanks for showing it. What else? Just visuals are cool. A bit more oomph. The SFX would help the impact. Yeah, that's one of my big pet peeves is indie games without sound effects, because it really kind of makes it. I mean, there are times when that's. If you guys know of a trailer that does just music well, please post. It's very tricky to do, I think. I feel like 95% of the time, in-game sound effects help tie things together and give you help with impact and stuff, especially if you're editing with the sound effects and hitting those impacts with the music and stuff. That's a very popular thing to do with trailers right now, but yeah, it's sound effects really help. Derek says, yeah, trailer doesn't have to literally show the game as it is the entire time. Yep, you can get right in there. I mean, you definitely want to have some moments where it's obvious, this is the thing that you're going to be doing. But yeah, get your cameras right in there. Get some awesome cinematic shots, some sweeping angles and stuff if you can, because that would really show off your art assets really well. Arcade Sanders did the first Gears of War. Oh yeah. Arcade Sanders, that's right. They had the it was that what song was that? Yeah, I think you're right. But that's yeah, I think that's one exception. Super Hexagon's trailer. It's basically cheating. Papers, Please trailer has SFX. Most of it is super good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that trailer was really good. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there is times when that works, but I feel like more often than not, it's good to have some sound effects, especially if the music dips out. You don't want to have blank space. You won't, for this trailer, maybe you could have the music dip out and then have some other sound effects coming in, like the roar of the big night here or something, tying these parts together. I guess you kind of have that a little bit, but I feel like you could start it here, so there isn't that break in the trailer. But yeah, very cool. Well, I like the look of it. Forward Friday says Gears of War was with Gary Jules' cover of the Tears for Fears song. What's that song? Something Places. Man, what is that? I don't remember who that is. Okay, now I have to look for it. Mad World, right? Oh, advertisement. Sorry. It's too long. That ad was too long.
All around me are familiar
Oh, yeah.
faces, worn out places, worn out faces. Hide
Yep.
my head, I wanna drown my soul.
So no sound at all?
No tomorrow, no tomorrow.
Oh, it's really funny. I remember watching this trailer and being like, this game looks looks so good. Starting to look a little dated. I guess it's probably 6 years ago? Time. Oh man.
Find it hard to tell you, I find it hard to take.
Seeing faces while showing a statue's face.
Run in
Oh.
circles, it's a very, very mad.
Yeah, that's a really good one. And I think the reason that it works is because there's a lot of. Oh, that could be. It is really good. And I think they can get again. This is the AAA stuff. You can get away with that because Gears of War, dude's shooting a thing. It's going to be a shooter. You don't really need to see the gameplay as much. You kind of want to what's the thing? Why am I doing this? You kind of want to know that a bit more. So I feel like this trailer does a good job of kind of immersing you in that. And I think the reason why the no sound works is because there's a lot of things happening in here where it's this has a very specific audio cue. this monster, you can hear this monster yelling in your head. You can hear that. That's like a visceral thing. And you can hear this guy's gun going off. You don't need it to be in the trailer. Like it's kind of an impactful moment to not have any. Yeah, I think that might be why it's really good. Jimmy says very emotional and contrast hits so hard. Yeah, agreed. But you can hear that. You can hear those sounds in your head without it being there. Is it 12 Cybergun? Oh my goodness. Oh, time. Where is time going? 4-bit file. All AAA games are the same, so you don't have to show the gameplay. Yeah, exactly. You know exactly where you're gonna get. But yeah, and that's the conundrum between AAA and indie is like indies usually have more varied approaches or game mechanics, and so it's a little bit more difficult to be like, here's the game you're gonna get, that sort of thing. Plus, people kind of expect like if I'm gonna get a game like this, I want my polish to be like really high. I want that the immersion and the quality of that to be really high. So I feel like that's why AAA trailers are kind of like that. Okay, guys. Let's get Tom in here. I'm going to go to the background. I think I'm doing this right. Get some Crypto Necrodance going. I want to go fetch him and use the washroom, and I'll be right back with Tom. So don't go away. Hello, and welcome back. We're here with Tom Francis, the designer of Heat Signature and Gunpoint, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about the his trailer and what his thought processes were through that. So if you guys have any questions, put it up on the chat and we'll ask him. But you want to watch the trailer and just kind of go through it? All right.
I'm excited about this game.
Oh. You guys hear that? Oh, we're not showing the content.
It took 3.5 years.
I know what I'm doing.
You play a contractor living in a remote nebula, taking on missions to break into spaceships. Breaking into spaceships is a ridiculous job that will certainly get you killed. But luckily, there are easy missions you can choose. Well, that one's labeled mistake, so you might not want to. Okay, fine, we're doing the one literally labeled mistake. Your ship has no weapons.
It's the one where he's like, this one's labeled mistake.
Which is good.
And then, which is the one that you're going to go into.
Is this. It can break into them. Once you're in, you'll need to get past the crew. You're wildly outnumbered, but you can pause
so I
and take
guess
as long as you like to
my
figure
biggest
out how to
question
get out of the terrible situation
for you
just put yourself
when you're
in.
making this game.
So here, you can take that first guy's gun
and use it to
shoot
did you
his
think
friend.
about the trailer? Like, did you think about how you were going to market
this guy
while you were making the
dodge
game?
that bullet while your gun reloads.
I tend to think about that stuff.
And everyone on the ship heard
just in the background.
Soon you're finding gadgets like the Subverter, which lets you hack enemy turrets to shoot people for you, and the Swapper, which lets you swap places with enemies to make them shoot.
By the time it does come out, I put a lot of thought
What
into
if the
it.
man you want to hit through a window isn't near the window? Well, you could shoot the window anyway, then swap places with him, so that when it breaks, he's the one who gets sucked into space. Now that your target is happily asphyxiating, you have time to worry about bigger problems, like the fact that the ship you're on is under attack and exploding. So it's time to throw yourself.
Like, to me, it was showing all the
remote
cool
control
things you
your
can
pod
do
to come and
and
scoop yourself up before you asphyxiate.
Because it jumps around so
Every
much,
mission
and the game is
gets you
kind of
closer to
complex,
liberating
it was
a new
actually,
space
I'm
station.
sure we just
And
battled
liberating
with that.
stations unlocks
So this
new
time I thought,
gadgets,
okay, it's got to be
weapons, and
sequential. It's got to be me just playing a mission from start to finish. And
It's a game from the
so that
developers
there's a
of
kind of
Gunpoint,
narrative
where you
to
go
it,
inside
and so that it's
spaceships,
just
make
continuous. So if
terrible
you
mistakes, and
if you
think
had
about
trouble
what
understanding
is
what just happened, maybe something that happens
now.
next will clue you in a bit, and it'll just be easier to follow and more kind of natural.
Right.
And in particular, the specific one we went with was very inspired by a trailer for a game called Cave Blazers.
Right. Yeah, you were talking about this the other day. Should we take a look at that one? Do you want to watch that one? Oops. Okay. Cave Blazers.
I used to be a games journalist, and I was always frustrated by trailers that didn't explain what the game was and what you do in the game, and it was like an eternal refrain to be like, just tell us what you do in the game. What do you actually do? And, Cave Blazers is a trailer that does that really, really well.
So because the theme for the stream right now is like explanation versus like immersion, right? Like how much do you want to immerse yourself? So that's really interesting. And you're talking about specifically about indie games, right? Because this is like indie games, the mechanics are usually different, and you need a bit more idea of like the things that you're going to do, sort of thing.
And actually, I bet part of the problem is that indie games, probably indie developers, don't always think of themselves as completely different from AAA. Like AAA, when you make an Assassin's Creed trailer, you don't really need to explain the basic concept of Assassin's Creed, because the awareness of that is so permeated through all of the gaming communities and everything. And so there you actually can go over without explaining specifically what you do. I still want to know, like, in this one, what are the cool things that I can do?
Yeah, you want the hooks. Like, how is this different than the previous one? How is this different than the, like, for Black Flag? I'm sure they were like, well, here's the ships. Like, this is going to be a big difference than from the last one, sort of thing.
Actually, Ubisoft did like 35 trailers for Black Flag, and none of them were interestingly. I might be getting mixed up with Mass Effect, but it was somewhere in like 20s or 30s. And none of them were anything like as exciting to me as one GIF that a player posted of them just swinging over to another ship, stabbing two guys with a sword, kicking someone else off the side, and like, I don't know, hitting someone into a barrel or something.
Oh,
and it was like 4 seconds long, and you just watch it, and you immediately, I want to play that game. That sounds great.
Oh yeah. So they're missing the hook basically in their trailers, kind of thing.
Yeah. But I think with indie games, there's no indie game that has that level of awareness at launch that they can just rely on you knowing roughly what the game is and then focus on something artsy and immersive. I always think you have to explain, what am I doing? And actually, with the Heatsink trailer, we got a lot of specific feedback about that in the comments, just saying like, "Thank you!" Like a trailer that actually just tells me what I'm going to do in the game, like how I play it.
Nice.
And that was very much came from the Cave Blazers one.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're an established, I mean, you've released 2 successful games, so I guess if you put your name on the front, like people, that would be a trigger for some people. Like it would be like, oh, this is the kind of game I'm expecting, right? A little bit, but it's still, if you're still playing with the mechanics, people probably want to know exactly what the differences are and that sort of thing. But.
Yeah, it's definitely the Heatsink trailer. I don't know if the viewers caught it, but the very start of it is actually a clip from Gunpoint, and that's because the first thing I knew is like, you know, big believer in putting like the most important piece of information first, and to me, without anything else to go on, I feel like the most important thing I can tell you about heat signatures is by the Gunpoint folks. So that's the slightly weird choice to put someone like a different game at the start of the trailer for this one.
No, I think it works. You don't really see it. Usually it's like there's some text that says like by the developers of or something, right? So putting a little clip of it.
Here, I think I've noticed from going to a lot of conventions and stuff, a lot of people they'll ask me what I've done, and I'll say Gunpoint, and nothing happens, and then a little while later I give them my business card or something with a screenshot, and then they're like, "Oh, this game!"
Yeah.
And so that's why it's actually
in there,
screen.
Right? Because people see that. Yeah. Okay. Well,
and also it tied into a joke, like it was able to. Once I thought of the opening line of this, which connects Gunpoint to Heat Signature in a way that's also kind of funny, that kind of cemented my decision to include it, because it's like, okay, if this can be funny, then no one's gonna be pissed off sitting like, "Oh, hey, why are you doing something with this game?"
Yeah, and that's nice. That's the nice thing about this game is that but the humor is light. Like I think that's really important too. Like it's not. There's some trailers that really try to overemphasize the humor, and it gets a little bit too overbearing. But I like how it's just you're just tossing little light jokes in here, so it's just keeps things fresh while you're narrating it.
And the tone actually owes a lot more to the voice actor Alex Ashby, who is the voice in the trailer. I knew him from a podcast called Something True, which is a brilliant history podcast, but somewhat fake history. It's like all the stories are true, but they're told in a very untrue way. So greatly exaggerated and told in a very deadpan style. It's written by Duncan Fife, and Alex Ashby reads it, and it strikes this tone of his delivery is never like he's telling a joke, but what he's saying is incredibly funny, and he's very good at delivering it in a funny way. And that really felt like a great match for Heat Signature, because Heat Signature, one of the things I wanted to communicate was you will be laughing when you play this game. There's nothing, when I show you a screenshot of it, it doesn't look like a funny game necessarily. Like the art is kind of, like with Gunpoint actually, all of the art is intentionally trying to seriously depict the world that's going on, but then things that happen in it are supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
And so it's not a comedy game, but it's a game that's hopefully going to make you laugh. And so that kind of tone felt perfect for that, like someone who's they're not openly making a joke, but they're going to say things that are going to make you laugh.
Yeah, it's really, really smart decision for sure.
It's actually
a couple. There's a question here by Derek. What was the writing process like? Was there any improv?
I wrote the script, delivering it myself over clips as I was cutting it together. I mean, although it is a continuous mission, in theory, you'll see there are cuts, and I had to do a lot of splicing, and I had to play that mission about 20 times before it came out the way I wanted it. Because also making a trailer for a randomly generated game is extremely difficult, because you have no idea what's going to happen each time you play it.
Right. Yeah.
So when I finally got a take that was working, I would cut the parts that were most boring, and I'd try and I had a draft I just wrote a draft, straight. Here's all the things I'd like to say and the order I'd like to say them, and then can I fit this to a mission? And then obviously when the footage I got didn't have everything I wanted, or had some other stuff that's also cool that I wanted to talk about, change the script to fit that.
Okay.
Try delivering it over that somewhere.
So you're basically iterating. It's a very iterative process.
Yeah, like it's never going to line up first time, right? It's always going to be. And I don't really believe in sort of like, making either the script or the video like golden and immutable, and then distorting the other one to fix it, which I know often you end up in that situation if you're a video editor. You're given something that can't change, and you've got to fix things around it. Luckily, because I'm doing most of it myself, I can squish in either direction. Kind of thing.
Yeah. No, I'm the same way. I've been lucky to work with lots of indies who they have. I'm the only video guy, so basically I have free reign, and so I don't have to they give me the footage and then that's it. Like I can iterate and
that's great. So after I delivered it myself, I then I'd already approached Alex, and he was keen, and so I sent him the script and the clips I had to fit to, and so there's precise timing for him. He was kind of constrained by what he had.
Right.
But I also invited him to tell me if this isn't going to work or if you need more time or something. We can have a little bit of stretch either way, because I still had the master project in. It was Sony Vegas I was using, so.
Oh, nice.
the clips. I've tried all the more widely used video editing programs, and I just hated them immediately.
Oh, really? Yeah.
This is the only one that makes sense to me for some reason. In the same vein, I use PaintShop Pro instead of Photoshop because it's the only one that makes sense to me. I don't know why.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I asked...
Use it works, really.
Yeah. Alex came back to me with 2 versions of all of the clips. So one where it's to the timing I asked for, which is very fast.
Okay.
And one where it's like, here's how I deliver it if you gave me free reign. Like, here's how, if you want to give it room to breathe and for the delivery to land, this is what I would do. And I think I pretty much used all of the fast ones. It was like, sorry, I don't have time to it would end up being like a 5-minute trailer if we used all of the slow ones.
Right.
And also the timing would have to just change too much. There's too much happening, even in the raw footage, if it wasn't edited, that it would be moving on before we were ready to talk about the next thing.
And it's probably something too where it's like you wanted to keep things moving quickly to make sure that it didn't get tiring or stale at some point.
Yeah, Gunpoint's trailer. Actually, how long is the Heatsig one? It's 2 minutes.
2:15. Yeah.
Okay, Gunpoint's was over 3 minutes. I think it was 3 minutes 30 or something.
Oh,
which
wow.
To me, I was so impressed with myself for getting it that short. And everyone was telling me, no, trailers need to be 90 seconds. I'm like, shut up. It's 3 minutes. Look at it's all gold. It's all perfect. Look at it. It's amazing. And at the time, I was really, really proud of it. And now when I go back to look at it, I think, this really drags, and I don't know what is that scene? What does that mean?
Right.
What's the relevance of that? So nice. I was very keen to keep it short this time. Yeah. And Alex did do some ad-libs. There was some stuff where he sort of riffed off, my script and inserted alternatives. I can't actually remember if we used any, and if so, which ones were his. But it was great to work with. It was really, it was very flexible, and did an amazing job. Absolutely loved the final result.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah. What else we got here? I think I fixed the audio. Why write the price at the trailer end? Interesting question.
We did that with Gunpoint, and Gunpoint was, I think, a bit cheaper than people expected, and actually it ended up being. I think I just always think of it as present them with the decision that you're asking them to make, as much as possible. If I could just have it be an actual Steam buy button, that would be ideal, obviously.
Yeah. You want that friction to be as small as possible, basically.
I think make it as concrete in their mind as possible. If you're really trying to push them to buy this thing, because this is the launch trailer, and it's not launch trailer in that weird sense that some people use it, where they release it a week before launch. It's it's literally out right now. Please go and buy it right this instant.
Yeah. So
trying to make that as real as possible for them, I guess. And I also found out that a lot of people were surprised it was as little as $15, which is great, because I was worried. Gunpoint was $10 and Heatsink was just $15.
And so that price bump, you were a little bit concerned about.
I was expecting the opposite. I was expecting people to think it was too expensive, although I did pick it because I asked, when I did testing feedback, one of the questions I asked was, what would you pay for this? And $15 was the most common response, so I thought, okay, it's probably not unreasonable to pick that. And then when I announced it, suddenly I got a lot of people saying, wow, I thought it was going to be more. Okay, great.
Nice.
So yeah, I think it's a selling point as well.
Yeah. Something true is so good. Derek really likes it. Gibbous says, Tom, could you do a serious trailer?
Good question. I think I'd probably have to make a serious game first. I made some smaller projects in between these. Morph Blade is no, it's not a serious game actually. All of the tutorial text is jokey in Morph Blade, I just remembered. But the game itself doesn't have a lot of slapstick in it, really.
Is that when did you make that one? Is that in between Gunpoint and?
Yeah, I made it as a kind of a break from Heat Signature during.
Oh, I see.
And I released it during GDC, which was bizarre and stupid.
Nice.
Yeah, that came out as part of the Humble monthly bundle.
Okay.
So if you subscribe to that, you got that included.
And that's the only place that people could play it?
No, I also sell it on Steam. So.
Oh, okay, cool.
That's $5. Gunpoint's $10. Heat Signature is $15, and I also have Floating Point, which is free. So I've done every price point. So the next one has to be $20.
$20
or -$5. I pay you $5.
Easy sell, I think, of that one.
Yeah, I'd definitely put that price at the end. You get $5 for it.
Click. Yeah. 4-Bit Friday loves Morphblade. I haven't even heard of this one
Awesome.
yet.
Thank you.
Do you have a trailer for that one?
I must have because it has a Steam page.
I'm curious. Can we see if it exists?
I think I just talk through it and explain it. I think I didn't bother trying to make a slick one.
Oh.
Which, I mean, for heat signature, an 18-minute video where I talk you through one mission still has more views than the launch trailer. It has like 380,000 views or something, and the launch trailer has like 300 or something.
So, is your launch trailer for that one? Was that also explaining what you do, or is that more of like
for Gunpoint?
For Gunpoint, yeah.
Gunpoint's launch trailer was kind of slick and a collection of clips and no voiceover.
Okay.
I did some title cards in between, just saying like break into buildings, fail spectacularly, that kind of thing.
Right.
But it didn't do a good job of explaining itself. And the video where I'm just sitting there was no script. I was just playing the game and just showing how it worked and just talking through it off the top of my head for 18 minutes. That has a shitload of views.
That's amazing. And I guess that probably helped you form your idea for the heat signature one then too. Like maybe people wanted
definitely
explain a little bit.
Yeah, heat signature trailer ended up being like, could we fuse? Is there a way to do the explaining thing in a slick way? Because if it's me talking, it's not going to be slick. But if you actually have a professional voice actor, then that really works.
Yeah, and it helps with the world too. I think it doesn't feel too out of the world, you know.
I think I would do that again. Morphblade is out. Here's how it works. I think is the launch trailer.
Okay. Which one? This one?
Yeah.
Okay. Feedback. Getting used to the stream stuff here. Play it out.
This is Morphblade. You're a sort of abstract white robot thing, and you're.
Let me know what the audio levels are like.
Hexagonal grid, and each hex you move to changes you into a different shape, and the different shapes have different attacks and different properties. The ones that are shown here are repair tiles. So I got to choose which one of these to build. I think I want to build.
So it's more of like an abstract board game.
Now that one's part of my grid, and a new wave is about to spawn. I'm going to I'll take some damage first, and then I'll kill it, and then you can see repair hex heals me. And I've just been offered a repair hex next to a repair hex, which is interesting because as you kill with these things and as they level up, they will eventually be upgradable. And once you upgrade them,
this would be tough to make any kind of like
and
immersive trailer for. I think.
Repair hex, it'll heal me as it kills.
Were you there? Did you see it all when I was showing the Caves of Cud trailer?
No.
Do you know what that game is? Yeah, because like roguelikes, for example, like how do you make a trailer for a roguelike? Like that's super hard, right? And they kind of went into this really like floral kind of world building stuff, which makes it very confusing because it doesn't really match. So stuff like this, like I think works really well. Just kind of explaining
all the way across my board in that direction. And so as you're building out the grid, you're kind of planning ahead to the sort of ultimate combination you want to make. This one's a teleporter. I'm going to...
Feels longer than it is.
Go to get closer to teleport to this blade. The blade kills things to your sides as you move. There's only one thing here, but you can kill two things at once with this. And...
what
else have I not shown you? The acid. The acid I'll tell you about in a second, because first I've got to explain this guy, who is an upgrader enemy. And he's not too tough to kill.
Okay,
I'm seeing some because wherever he dies, you can upgrade that. So I'm actually
you have some similar designs in like a lot of your games, like getting them to attack you, but they take the damage and stuff like that. Like in Heat Signature, when you flip out the guy and like get him to shoot himself and stuff like that.
An acid next to an acid.
Teleporting.
What acid does?
The teleport and acid sounds in this game are the same as Heat Signature.
Oh no way!
I found the right sound. I'm not going to make any one.
If he moves onto the acid hex, he becomes stripped. There we go. Perfect. So I couldn't have killed him normally when he's with his blue armor. Now he's been stripped by the acid. I can
Ryan asks, was this another example of you having to do the trailer over and over to
and if I upgrade acid with acid, that can diffuse the worst kind of enemy, which is the exploding enemy. Which I probably won't get far enough to show you.
Ryan's also saying we shouldn't talk over it.
Exploding enemy, when it dies, it destroys the tile it's on. So if it destroyed that one, which is my repair hex, my beautiful repair hex that gives me the shield, it would be gone forever, and I'd have to build something new in that place and start from scratch. So that's basically it.
Oh, there it is.
Arrow, if I upgrade them with each other, it becomes...
I did need to do this a couple of times, I think, but it was because my standards were so much lower for this one. It was a lot easier because it was just like, this is never going to be slick. I actually did the art for this game. The art in Gunpoint and Heat Signature is by John Roberts. And Morphblade and Floating Point are me, and you can tell it's me because I'm not an artist. These are literally just some hexagons and some lines. And yeah, I didn't see any way to make this look really slick and cool. So just the key thing is, let's explain the game, because the only thing it has going for it is that it's kind of interesting once you know the rules.
Yeah.
If you leave the trailer not understanding the rules, you 100% will not buy this game.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and that's another interesting thing I'm thinking about too. Maybe another topic for another trailer, but like as a developer, making games that show well, or at least
so this was just a side project, and it was as a break from Heatsig, and so intentionally I just did not worry about commercial stuff at all. In fact, when I started it, I didn't know if I'd be able to sell it at all, because it was inspired by a game called Imbroglio by Michael Bro.
Oh, and yes, it's like a roguelike on phone, right?
Yeah, and that pioneered the idea of like a tile determines how you attack and what you do when you're on it. And I love that idea, and I had some issues with the game that I wanted to kind of see if I could figure out a solution to, and my little version that I was making for my own use turned into this. And as I started to see like it seemed like something I could release, I asked Michael if he would be all right with me releasing it, and he gave his blessing very generously.
Very cool.
But it was on that kind of thin ice, so it was definitely not a thing I made with commercial hopes.
Right. Your own kind of exercise thing, sort of thing.
Yeah. So for stuff like Gunpoint and Heat Signature, and the one I'm working on now, Tactical Breach Wizards, I do think a lot about making something that's gonna. I'm quite lucky that's gonna show well, and I'm quite lucky that the stuff that excites me naturally is stuff that's kind of mechanics driven. Like if I was really into story games and nothing else, like just narrative, no mechanics, I would have a much harder time promoting them, because I don't know how you show a story without spoiling it, or
exactly,
any kind of short amount of time.
And the nice thing about like Heat Signature's mechanics too, and the way that you describe them, you show kind of like one mission and but you show enough of the mechanics to be like, here's a potential combination, and then already your mind's kind of like, oh, if you can do that, you can do this and this. I'm like, oh, I want to get my hands on that and try it, and like that I think really works well.
Yeah, I think you got to the core of what excites me about games, and what I always go for on my own games and that ties Gunpoint, this, and Heat Signature together is. They're all based on mechanics that are supposed to get you excited about the combinations. Like, I'm telling you can do this, and you can do this, and then you can take it from there in your head. Like, because that's what gets me excited, is when I hear about a rule. Like, a great example is Domino in Dishonored, which is a spell that Dishonored's a first-person stealth game, and Domino is a spell where you can link enemies or even friends, and then whatever happens to one will happen to the others.
Oh, okay.
And if you know that, and then you also know there's a spell that can like fling someone across the room with a gust of wind, and there's scenes where one character is about to shoot another, then your mind gets excited about, oh, what if I linked that into them, and what if I did this and this?
Yeah. Playing with the systems, that sort of thing. Yeah, and it's very key for trailers to not show everything and tease
in a way
leave you wanting more kind of.
Yeah, maybe that's kind of ideal for trailers. Is it's something that we can show you something cool, and that there will still be something that you're excited to try.
Just showing a morsel of everything that you can do.
Yeah, that might explain actually why I've been very lucky with both Gunpoint and Heat Signature did well, and with the Heat Signature, I mean neither of them I expected to do well, but Heat Signature I was really thinking like, God, we ended up with a very weird game. Like it was very experimental, the development process, and. Originally it was going to be infinite, and there'd be no sense of like progress or anything.
Oh my goodness!
And we ended up adding a sort of finite galaxy that you can that you're tasked with liberating. But we made sort of weird concessions about that, like how you go about it is kind of abstract, and it was a series of like, oh shit, we can't do this. Oh, this isn't quite working. Let's try this, and let's patch it in this way, and let's do that. And at the end of it, I was like, oh, is anyone gonna want to buy this? And I think maybe the fact that the kinds of games that I like to make happen to be easy to show and easy to show what's exciting about them is probably part of the reason it was able to still succeed.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why I have to think about like Caves of Cud, for example. Like that game is like pretty. It's doing all right for a roguelike, but like you don't start making that being like, I'm going to sell this game. Like that's really hard to show. That's so hard to show.
I always think that when we're complaining about like games that are difficult to show, I always think I've like my cousins both work in promoting books,
Okay.
Well, that's harder.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Even the hardest game is not quite as difficult to promote as a book, unless like you've literally just got the name recognition of the author if they have any, and if they don't know what you do.
Yeah, exactly. I guess I've seen book trailers. Like people do book trailers somehow, but that's hard to do.
I suppose and traditionally like trailers with for things that already had enough awareness that they would have the money to put something on television, right?
Yeah.
We live in a world where you make a trailer for the internet, and it just makes sense that everyone does it. But yeah, I suppose most book trailers, I don't know this, but maybe they're only for people who do have name recognition, and then you can, at least pitch it.
4-Bit Friday says I buy books based on their covers. That's fair. Yeah, covers for me. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Actually, when we were in just this little side note, when we were in Taipei, they actually translate all the books from English into the local language. I think it's Mandarin or something. But their book covers are amazing. They always have this really simplified, super graphic. And books that I know, and it's this is a way better cover than what you'd see in North America and stuff. So
it's I used to work at PC Gamer, and we had our cover would always be plastered with loads of call outs for articles that we think people are going to be excited about, and then all the different reviews we have, and it's full of text on top of a big dramatic image of whatever the cover game is.
Right.
But if you subscribe, you get a nice clean version of it with no call-outs because you already paid. We already know you're a customer, so
right.
You don't have to advertise to you. So it's just this lovely sort of collector's edition almost.
Oh, cool. Oh yeah, is that the reversible kind? Is that the?
No, it's just a separate edition. So it's just separately
okay.
printed and it's just nice clean art.
That's cool. What else are you guys saying here? There's a couple of graphic novels I want to read based solely on the trailers for them. Interesting. Derek says book trailers I've seen are kind of like short films. Yeah, it's an interesting problem having book trailers. But let's check out that Cave trailers, the Cave Blazers trailer.
Yeah, if you try Cave Blazers trailer, I think that's really good.
So let's get back to this. This one. There's a Switch one. Release trailer.
Release trailer sounds right.
Oh, ads. Sorry, we'll get that fixed.
My name's Mark. I'm an adventurer. I found this cave and there was this old man in there and he told me it was too dangerous to go in. So I jostled him about a bit, took my clothes off, dyed my hair blonde and went in. I'll show him. Turns out the old man was right. There were loads of blobs in there that gave me a hard time, but I killed them with my sword and bow. And I met a guy who gave me shoes, and he followed me around as I started fighting more and more monsters. There's loads of them down here. I killed blobs, bats, goblins, hobgoblins, and weird bomb things. I killed so many things, I started writing about it in my diary so I wouldn't forget. And it's not only monsters down there. I found bows, swords, bombs, traps, power-ups that made me well buff. Weird coloured potions, I had no idea what they did till I quaffed them. Some of them made me right sick. Anyway, me and my mate, the one who gave me shoes, we carried on fighting in this cave and we kept killing all these things until we walked into a massive room with a big old monster. We picked up loads of gear by then, so I thought we'd have it no problem. But it killed my mate in about a second. Then it killed me. But then I came back. The cave was kind of different, but kind of the same. I put some proper clothes on this time and took it a bit more seriously. I found another mate, we killed the big monster again, only this time it was a different big monster. And this time I killed it. I kept fighting more and more monsters and finding more and more weapons and spells. I quaffed loads more potions and found loads more power-ups that made me stronger and stronger. I was getting so good, I even started giving myself challenges. My diary was filling up. I was going further than anyone had been before, and I was going to show that old man what I was made of. But then I got smashed again. But I'm not giving up. I'm going in again and again and again. And one day I'm going to get all the way. I'll show that old man. Help me show that old man.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I can see the similarities. That was really
Seriously,
good. Yeah.
I found another mate. Hobgoblins and weird bomb things. I killed so many things. I started writing about it in my diary so I wouldn't forget. There were loads of blobs in there.
And yeah, similarly, it's it's funny, but it's not. It's funny, but it's not overbearing.
Yeah,
and it's quick and snappy dialogue, that sort of thing. And like how smoothly it's like, oh yeah, me and my mate, kind of, and then suddenly you're co-op. And you're like, oh, there's co-op in the game.
Yeah. They actually, I remember this as just being them. Are we okay in volume building?
I think I lowered the trailer.
Yeah, I remember this as being basically just him playing the game for a while, but there's way more cuts and edits and zooms and stuff, that way more work went into this than I remember actually.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they did a really good job with that for sure.
Yeah, so I was already a big proponent of explaining and just talking through stuff, and I don't think I really knew what I was going to do for Heatsig, because I didn't know how to make that slick. I think I was just going to do like more title cards, or I think I've been considering some voice acting. But yeah, this kind of convinced me you could explain a game in a way that was slick. And,
yeah.
With the right voice actor. Obviously, we went for a very different style.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I like this technique. Although I did feel like they kind of were. Well, I guess there's like some acid stuff and there's laser stuff. I guess they're still keeping things fresh. I was a little bit like, oh, it seemed like they were showing some of the same stuff, but.
How long is it?
Yeah, that's a question.
Wow, shorter.
2 minutes, but yeah, I felt like it was doing a pretty good job, but I thought they could have been a little sooner, because it started to seem like they were starting to repeat a little bit,
right,
with like lots of bow and arrow. Like if they had more, I don't know, like stuff that like wizard ones or something. I don't know, some stuff like that. It just seemed like it.
Yeah.
The combat was starting to give it, but
I think
that's a minor. That's like good trailer.
It's probably a side effect of like one of the things they're trying to get across is that you die and restart a lot, so there's natural repetition to that. So they kind of inevitably have to show some of the same stuff.
Yeah. Is there co-op? Oh yeah, Super Saturn. Is that meant to be a hint at co-op? Have you played this? Have you played this game?
I played it, but I haven't played in co-op. But
okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if it isn't.
I was under the impression that was like, oh, me and my mate, and so I figured that was like, oh, you could play 2-player. Or did he just say you found it? Did I miss that? I could have missed that.
Oh, you know what? There are AI companions you can find.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought, like, this part here, I thought maybe that was a co-op thing, but yeah. Anyway, this game was cool, though.
Yeah. And I guess it's coming to Switch, because that's what we found.
Yeah, that's right. Well, maybe we should check out, see how they've done the Switch trade, if that's any different. Oh, it's appearance.
It's very different.
Buy something else.
That's longer.
Steam store says local co-op. Oh, thanks, Steger.
Do you like adventures?
Oh, you can't hear this.
Welcome to Cave Blazers, the greatest adventure of them all. This cave contains a
No, that's alright.
Okay. Okay, it's like similar.
Of course, there are a few little beasties here and there to stop you. Kill those beasties and they shall drop them.
Oh, they show the player. That's an interesting choice.
Yeah, don't like that.
Oh, there's different characters now. Is there always different characters? It seemed like the other one. I guess they were showing the one story of the one character, so they were probably just picking that one. Super Saturn loves console joy face shots.
I hate them.
Jost loves the people's faces playing the games as well. So old school, yeah. High fives.
But it's too late now. You can't stop playing.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. I don't know what it is with the Switch games, and I guess because it's like portable, and they like want to show that, but it's like we know that's. I don't know. Anyway.
Maybe it's another thing where.
Oh, here we go. That's definitely co-op. Sorry, go ahead.
Maybe it's another thing about making it more concrete, like making the buying proposition more real for people. Like, you will be doing this. Here's what it will be like.
Right.
Imagine you had this game.
I mean, I think that stuff works fine when it's like, here's a game that has controls where you have to you experience it like with other people, kind of thing. I think that's a good time to have that. But here it's just like, oh, it's a joke.
Even without hearing the voice, I know what joke that was.
Yeah. All right. It was all for a toilet joke, yeah. Steer. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, I like when there's the game, like each person has a controller and they have to do weird motions or something. Then it's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense because you can't really show the game for that. I guess if you're making a joke too,
it's going to be interesting to figure out what I do for the next game, because the next game is turn-based tactical thing, kind of XCOM-ish, but with wizards and tactical gear. So it's funny, like the concept is a joke, but showing turn-based action is something I haven't really... I mean, Morphblade is technically turn-based, but I wasn't trying to make that one slick.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting to figure out how we do that. I kind of think it probably needs some explaining, so it probably will need voiceover. When I look back to like Gunpoint's trailer versus Heat Signatures, I just think the voiceover works so much better than there's nothing like title cards you can do a little bit with, but if you really need to explain something, like what did I just see on screen? When this person cast that spell on that person, what was happening there?
Yeah.
I think the kinds of games I make just need a bit of like, let me just tell you what happened.
Yeah, and the VO frees up the visuals for showing rather than telling, right? I think that's when you show too many title cards, then you're constantly switching focus, kind of thing. It's like I have to pay attention and to read. Oh, now I'm watching something happen. So VO kind of frees that up, I think.
Yeah. Do you want to show the Gunpoint one?
Oh yeah, sure.
I think it's worse than the Heatsig one, but the music is fantastic. The music's by Ryan Ike, and it's my favorite track of his.
Ooh.
And it's a special version cut to this trailer, but it almost fit perfectly just first time. Like so many little bits of the music synced up to the trailer I made.
Oh, that's nice. It's nice when that happens.
And we can talk a bit more of this one because there's no voice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it starts all right. And then I start to like montage all the cool things you can do, and I think I lose the viewer. Sorry.
But you do start with the hook though, right? You start with your hook is basically creative infiltration, so you do explain that.
And that cross-link thing is the key mechanic that I want to get across, so we get to that pretty early. And yeah, I don't know if it's clear, like if people get what happened with that light switch and stuff. And so here,
right, you're wiring it up.
So it's all very like low stakes. Like the stuff I'm doing here is pretty menial, just opening doors and turning off lights and stuff.
Right.
But that's hopefully keeping it simple enough that you can understand it.
Right. That was meant to be like the here's.
Did you understand what happened there?
You turned off. Hold on a second. Sorry, I was talking and saying. Oh yes. So that was like a motion sensor, right? And then you rigged it up to that, and then yeah.
And that's the kind of thing where, to me, after working on this for 3 years, it's complete second nature that that's what's happening. And I don't know if, like here, I've hooked his gun to a light switch. Sorry, a power socket. Power socket's actually the game.
Oh,
but I
okay.
think a lot of this stuff kind of needs talking through. Like this is just mad. Like what I'm doing here. I'm setting up a delay because all the hand scanners are going to trigger.
And then it slams the door on his face.
Yeah, I don't think it's clear why that happens. Really and this guy's going to try and open. Oh, that guy, his gun went off without him expecting it, which blew out the window to let me in. And then while he was fixing his gun, I beat him up.
Yeah. There's a lot going on.
This guy's going to shoot his friend.
Okay. So it's like you hook up the camera to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
These clips are going really fast, and that you get no time to kind of take stock of what just happened. I do like the kind of climax at the end as the music builds and we get a bit faster with the clips.
Yeah, nice. Do you remember liking this game? But how long? When did you release this again? How long has it been?
2013.
Oh yeah. It's like so 6 years.
Yeah.
Oh, that was nice. I think the other thing, I've been saying this with a couple trailers, that it probably would have helped to zoom in a little bit on some of these shots.
I don't think I had that technology.
Oh yeah. And is this the pixel art? Is it locked to a certain resolution, or is it?
Yeah. And that's true in the game as well. Like if you have a really high-res monitor, everything's just smaller, which is kind of stupid. But we couldn't scale it, except to whole multiples. So we double the resolution of the game. In fact, we do zoom in here. So it's double or nothing, basically. If you double the pixel art, it still looks good and crisp.
Right.
If you want to do it by 50%, you just can't. It's horrible.
Yeah.
And that's one reason we've never done pixel art again.
Right, yeah.
It's really hard to get it to look clean and crisp. And I think me and John were both of the opinion that, like, if you can't make it look crisp, just don't show it.
Don't,
like,
yeah.
It's worse than nothing.
I mean, the nice thing for as someone who makes trailers, the nice thing about pixel art is that you can zoom in on it, and as long as the footage is really high quality, you can zoom in on it, and the pixels scale with it, so it still looks good as you zoom in.
Yeah.
So it gives you a bit more flexibility in terms of how much you can zoom in on stuff.
I think maybe our scale is just like you're absolutely tiny. You're sort of like, I don't know if it's like 20 pixels tall or something, and like it's 1-to-1 pixel resolution normally.
Right.
And so I think zooming in on that.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
There'd
It's
be a lot
like
of like bad, like when it's double scale it looks fine, and when it's triple scale it looks fine. But between 1 and 2 scale, I think you spend a lot of time at that.
I don't know. I have like a technique I use with After Effects that generally keeps things crisp.
Okay.
There's a technique I learned from Kirk Gardner, who's another trailer guy, where if you do this special technique, then you basically what you do is you blow up the footage really big, and then squish it down into a smaller comp, and then the interpolation doesn't doesn't do the same thing as it would on a big scale, so it doesn't like make the pixels all like mess with the stepping and stuff like that. So I've done that in trailers where I just like I take a pixel game and I just like zoom right in. But those are also like could be games that are like native resolution. They're like 340 by 640 because I helped with on the Nuclear Throne trailer, and I just like zoomed right in on that, and because it's like you can tell what it is at any scale, it's like it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, the primary reason for not doing it was laziness. not really knowing how to do that in the video tool I use. And also not having much hope that it would look good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that would be that's a trick that I learned after a while too, right? That's not easy or common knowledge to do, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to do that in anything other than After Effects either. Right. So what do we got here? Milos says if major markets you would do new voiceovers, so German and French trailer. Derek said or use captions at the very least. I think he was talking about when you were talking about the stuff in the game.
Are they asking about localization?
I think so. Oh,
What about countries where they don't speak English?
Doesn't the voiceover sell worse? Oh yeah.
Yes, probably, but the game was also not localized, so we don't lose anything. Like, if you can't speak English, then I'm afraid the game won't make much sense to you anyway. So,
right.
Localization would be cool to do, but it's so much work, and it's something that it's another thing where I'm very careful about, like, work that I can't check. Like if someone translates my game, I can't check whether it's a good translation or not.
Right.
With time, you can eventually learn through like, okay, players seem to be liking it, but even then, the non-English speaking players' feedback, I can't read that. I've got to let someone else tell me. So it's so hard to even know to like be sure about the quality. That
I guess you kind of have to have a relationship with some translating house or something to like understand.
There are obviously super reputable localization services, but the real reason again is just laziness. Just like I have like 7 jobs on this game.
Right, yeah, exactly. It's a lot, yeah.
And even when you're not doing it yourself, just arranging for someone else to do it and making sure they do it well and all that stuff is just a huge time sink that I can't afford usually.
Right, yeah. And I think that's if you're doing like a bigger budget game, then it makes sense to do multiple markets sort of thing, but I think I've done a Japanese translation once, pretty sure, but that was just on a game that had text on screen, and so I just like somebody sent me a string and I just copied and pasted it. But yeah, I mean, the more you can localize, I'm sure that's better, if you can. Somebody asked off-topic question, if you plan to add Turkish language for Industries of Titan. That's a good question. I'm sure we're localizing it. I'm not the right person to ask that question. I'm sure there's somebody in chat who can answer that. Super Cyber said, "I always felt bad jumping the guards in Gunpoint."
Well, you don't have to. You can actually jump them and jump straight back off without punching them. They get back up, and then
they might shoot.
Life
you,
is hard
basically.
for you.
Right? Yeah.
Or you can punch them just once, and it's not so bad. You can punch them as many times as you like, and most people do. But that's on you at that point.
Yeah. Joe says Gunpoint guy is savage. Yeah. Mela says again, the price is mentioned. Have you done A/B testing for that?
No. Again, I did when I did ask for feedback for the game, I would ask people what they thought I should charge for it. And again, I went for the price that was most. I think it was the average and it was the median, and it was also kind of what felt right to me as well.
Right.
It's a little bit cheaper than most people expect, which is I think that's the good side of the line to be on.
Yeah, for sure. Because then people I don't have to put much down in case this game isn't what I expect or something like that. Yeah.
And I think it also probably translated to better review scores, better user review scores on Steam. Because
right.
A really high rating for Gunpoint. I think it's partly that it's pretty cheap.
Yeah, yeah.
It's 3 hours long as well, so the main complaint about it is that it's too short. And so I think we managed to, even though that is a very common complaint, it's kind of, the tone of the complaint is usually like, it's quite short, but I love it, or something. Like, it's kind of like, that's the downside, but it's overall positive. Whereas I think if it was like $20, it would be like, oh, this game could have been so good, but it's so short.
Right. The value versus time thing kind of comes into play there. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, people are talking about translations more. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything else you want to talk about? Is there anything else that regarding trailers?
No, I feel like I have my rant about indie game trailers where I can't understand what you do in the game. Like there are some where I don't even know which thing on screen is being controlled by the player, if anything.
And that's another reason why I keep saying like zooming in, because that really like draws your eye. It's like look at this guy. This is the one you need to be paying attention to.
Yeah, that might be true with Gunpoint. Maybe there is in some cases not clear which guy on screen is you.
Although I feel like with this one it's a little bit different because you can clearly see you're clearly seeing the mouse moving, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Like you can clearly see. Was it here? Or is it, you do the first jump or something? Yeah, and you're seeing him by himself, right? Instantly. And you see the cursor. So I feel like it's a little bit more obvious, but like the Caves of Cud trailer I showed before, they were just showing the whole screen and things were moving around. You're like, I don't know which is the player character. Like who's who?
And story-based stuff, I personally think it's good. The story context for the game. I feel like it's not worth getting too deep into the lore in the trailer. Like it's never, because you can communicate some of it, but you'll never communicate what's good about it.
Yeah.
And what's good about like lore and world building and stuff is when you're immersed in it.
Yeah.
And I think the best you can do in a trailer is like give a flavor of like the sort of mood of the thing, but there's no point getting into specifics about kind of stuff. I actually gave a talk at GDC, like a little 5-minute rant about explaining your game to people, which is about in text and in video, but basically ranting against it'll speak for itself kind of mentality, where you just show the game and don't explain it, and trying to say that explaining it doesn't cheapen it, like he doesn't have to. It's not. You're not ruining it. In fact, you're probably saving it.
Right.
Because if someone doesn't understand what the hell you're talking about or why they should care, that's when you're doing a disservice to your work, I think.
Right. Yeah. For sure. Is there somewhere we can see? Is that talk on somewhere?
If you Google how to explain your game to an asshole, I don't know if it's on YouTube. Oh, it might be actually.
Game to.
If that doesn't come, just try Google.
No. Oh, I'm getting a lot of other things. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Well. I guess if you Google your name plus that, maybe that would work. Okay. If somebody else has it can find it on the chat, we'll let them do that. Joe says, hey Marlon, if you were handling Gunpoint, would you have done your punch-in style for Pixel games? Gunpoint need the breadth to show whole layouts of everything. I think I would probably do the punch-in style for some of it. I think it's like for things like emphasizing who the character is, and for things like when the action is very specific, like landing on a guy, maybe I would say punch in on those things. Like where there's things happening in a very small area and everything else is like mostly unused, then I would probably punch in. But definitely like a mix. It wouldn't be punching in stuff like that. But.
Yeah, I think I agree. It would have worked there.
But again, yeah, it's a hard. as someone who makes the game and makes the trailers, it's a yeah. Super Saiyan, the most being visible is an interesting wrinkle. Been wrestling with whether or not to show it in ours because it's also touch compatible. Oh yeah, I actually did a trailer for Severed, which is a iOS game, and I opted to turn off all the UI and then actually animate the touch controlled afterwards, just for one scene, just to be like these slashes that are happening on the screen. That's when you're swiping. So I kind of explaining like this is where you're swiping. This is what you'll be doing.
Do you show like a finger or something?
Yeah, it's just like a little icon,
right.
just for that, just to show off that little bit. Oh, 2N. Thanks 2N. Posted a link. It's on your website.
Yes, that's a write-up of it. I think the video is linked or embedded, perhaps.
Okay. Cool. Osmosis punch same as zoom. Yeah, it's just like a zoom in. I should actually make a post about the technique I use for doing pixel zooms, which is a technique by Kirk Gardner. But I made a little script for those of you who do After Effects stuff. If you're into that, message me. But yeah, Super Saturn, I would say for things that aren't obviously, like for Severed, the reason that I did that is because it's not initially obvious when you're just shown the monster and then you see some slashes. It's not initially clear what exactly you're doing, so I thought maybe showing it there would help explain what you're doing. But if you're just like pressing buttons, that might be different.
Yeah, I think
it depends on the game, really.
I think it helped with Gunpoint to see what the cursor was doing.
Mm-hmm.
There is downside is like it's annoying for the user if they're watching on the computer. Like if they get confused about which is their cursor and which is the fake one. Like it's something I would avoid if all else was equal. But I think if it's a cursor-driven game, it's so much easier to see what's going on if you can see what the player's doing.
Yeah. I
guess maybe you could make like a sort of fake cursor for the trailer that's sort of like obviously not the Windows cursor. I mean, Gunpoint is a custom one, so it doesn't. But it's still a white arrow, you know.
Right.
At a glance,
right.
It's kind of.
Yeah, and for the Severed one, I had like a hand touch cursor just for that one shot.
The cursor in Warcraft was always like a faction-themed hand, wasn't it? Like a
yes.
If you're playing as the humans, I think it was like an undead hand, undead and stuff.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know, would it be like the Gunpoint guys?
Yeah.
Gun?
I mean,
something?
He wears black gloves in the game, so it could be like a black glove.
Oh, black
hand,
glove, yeah.
It'd have to have some kind of outline, I think, to stand out.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good point. I guess you start showing it and stop later once it's clear. Yeah, that's kind of because I didn't want to like obstruct because the visuals are amazing in that game, and I didn't want to like put too much stuff over top of it. So yeah, just did it for a little bit. But yeah, any other questions? I think we could probably start wrapping up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on my stream. This is my first guest appearance. So,
excellent.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. And yeah, thanks everybody for coming on. Oh wait, there's one more question. Do you have active marketing PR for any other trailers of the game? And if so, which platforms? I think he's.
I just email the press, basically, like games journalists, and that's about it. Obviously, I put it on YouTube and I tweet about it.
Right.
But no, I don't do any I don't pay a marketing firm or do any paid advertising. Usually, I feel like if it's has any legs, it's gonna get out there on its own organically. Hopefully.
Right. Right.
And if it's not, then paying for it is not gonna do much.
Help.
Good, really. It's not gonna turn it from a failure to a success.
Yeah. on another note, he says, asked which platforms have you ever considered putting it on other platforms?
All my stuff is PC only, and that's that's another thing like localization where it's like we sort of started thinking about it with Gunpoint on consoles, and then I realized like I don't want to do this myself because I want to make a new game, I want to get on with other stuff, and I care too much about it to let someone else just do it without my supervision. And if without me, endlessly checking in and saying, is it this or no, you should do it this way, and like just being, I'm too invested to be hands off, and it's not an interesting enough job for me to want to be hands on with it, so I don't do it. Basically.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Does Tom think he'll ever go back to using GameMaker, or has he moved to Unity full time now?
I don't know. I've been making. I have like little side projects, kind of like Morphblade, and the last 2 of those have both been Unity. That's partly an intentional thing though, because I'm struggling to learn Unity, so I'm trying to make myself not get distracted and get immersed in it.
Right. Yeah.
So after this is done, whether like if I was doing a side project or something, whether I'd want to do GameMaker, probably. I'm tempted to stick with Unity. GameMaker, the version I learned was GameMaker Studio 1, and that's now kind of outdated.
Right.
GameMaker Studio 2 is the new thing, and I haven't really got used to that. So
is it significantly different?
Yeah, the whole environment is totally. The language is still pretty much the same, but like windows are in this infinite space and linked by curved lines, and there's all these weird tabs and stuff. The tab system, wanted tabs for code and things in the previous version, but the way they've done it is not the normal way. It's the very strange system that I've not got used to. So GameMaker doesn't really have the familiarity advantage anymore, like unless I go back to Studio 1, but then that's support for that is going to be it already like crashed on startup, like,
Ooh, yeah.
like not fatally, but it throws an error because it can't connect to its new server. So it's like I can't imagine in like 2 or 3 years time me starting a game in a thing that old.
Yeah, you wanna have that support.
Yeah.
If you're making a big project like that. Let's see what else. I think there's one more question. I don't remember which game, but some RTS has played with the hand by having the bones tended visible where the hand was severed.
Yeah, it probably is.
Oh,
when
yeah,
it plays
that's
the
right.
undead or something, I bet there's a bone sticking out.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Steger says what Tom is saying is he can't delegate either.
Yeah,
oh, he's a
right.
fellow game dev there. Yeah. Nice. Okay, cool. I think that's a good amount of time. Yeah, thanks again for coming on. Thanks everybody for tuning in to this today's episode of Choice Cuts.